This is a 3.5 video lesson which is on solving inequalities using multiplication and division. So while addition and subtraction was simple because you kept the sign the same as if it were an equal sign, in this case there's one different rule. So the multiplicative property of inequality is if you multiply each side of an inequality by a positive number, it produces an equivalent inequality. So in this example, if you multiplied both sides by 4, the sign of the inequality symbol stays the same. The thing you need to remember is when you multiply each side by a negative number, you end up reversing the direction of the inequality to produce an equivalent equation. So in this case, m divided by negative 4, when we multiply both sides by negative 4, it becomes n is, we switch the sign. So notice that they're not the same. You reverse it. So m is less than negative 8. If you forget to switch the sign, then you're not going to have the correct answer. So that's the big rule to remember here. If you multiply both sides by a positive, it stays the same. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, it switches. So let's show an example solving an inequality using multiplication. So if we had y divided by 17 is less than or equal to negative 2, we're going to multiply both sides by 17, so we can reduce this to 1y on the left, and our answer would be y is less than or equal to negative 34. And then you can put this onto a line graph if you want, or a number line. The next example is the same goes for multiplication as division. So if you divide both sides by a positive number, then the inequality stays the same. But if you divide each side by a negative number, we flip the sign. So you can see here, we ended up flipping it in order to make the statement true. So go ahead and press pause and try these practice problems, remembering the rules for if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you end up flipping the sign. The third type of example is writing and solving an inequality. So in this case, we have a word problem. If you are at bat 250 times this baseball season, how many hits must you get to have a batting average of at least, so this is the key word, at least 0.452, not of 0.452. So at least means it can be this number or anything greater. So the first thing we do is write a verbal model. So we'd have hits divided by at bats. That would end up getting your average. Must be greater than or equal to the target batting average, which is the 0.452. So you can plug our numbers in, where H is hits divided by 250, because that's the number at bats, is greater than or equal to 0.452, because it has to be at least that much. So it can be larger and still be true. So in this case, H is greater than or equal to 113. So to achieve a batting average of 0.452, we need to get at least 113 hits out of that 250 times at bat. So go ahead and try the following problem on your own. So you earn $6 per hour at your after-school job. How many hours must you work this week to earn at least $72? And that was a quick lesson, so that's all for tonight.